The final big hyped up Travis release went down just today. The FACEBOX is making a reappearance next year alongside one of the best Jordan 4 colorways for next year. And contrary to public demand, maniere aren't actually done yet. Travis Scott fans have had enough of the crappy quality of his merch. And we've got a whole bunch of other sneaker stories to talk about in this week's Sneaker Wrap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, and every Saturday I do these weekly sneaker news recap videos where we comb over some of the biggest sneaker news stories from the past week. Let's start things off by recapping this week's biggest sneaker releases. Undoubtedly, the big release, the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows in the Velvet Brown colorway. Yesterday we saw this pretty wicked video promoting the sneaker featuring Dennis Rodman as like a Willy Wonka character, which is pretty dope. It's kind of like a POV experience where you get alongside Dennis Rodman, you journey through the factory, and you ultimately come out at the end meeting up with Travis Scott, who is, I guess, the Willy Wonka character in this instance. Pretty cool promotional material, pretty high-end budget, it looks like, for this particular release. But going back to the release itself, it seems like this was a pretty tricky pair to get a hold of. Something like 120,000 pairs were rumored to have released. Yours truly came up on nothing but L's. But you know what? It's one of those releases where I'm not too fussed to have missed out on for retail, because this colorway, very simple, clean, understated, all that sort of stuff. It's not really a must cop for me. Right now in the resale market, I'm seeing these go for around £350, maybe around $400. So it's not the type of bank-breaking Travis Scott sneaker to miss out on. But yeah, let me know if you guys came up on this or not. Next up, we had the Nike Air Zoom Spiridon release with Fragment. We also had the OG Spiridons as well yesterday. And if you guys wanted to check out my review on the Fragment collab, feel free to click on the video above. I feel like this release kind of went under the radar a little bit. It was ignored, not really spoken about very much, because the shoes are pretty boring and pretty easy to ignore, it has to be said. Also had the Nego Air Force 3, the green and the brown colorway released here in the UK. I'm not sure if the light tan was just a US release only, but I managed to come up on the Nego Air Force 3s. Looking forward to getting those in, and I'll bring you guys my review as soon as they land. A couple of big bangers for sure this week, and there are still a couple of big bangers to release this week, which we will be previewing at the end of the episode, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Right, let's get into the news. I figured I would start off with this story because some of you guys might be interested in this sneaker. These are the New Balance ALD 993s. We actually saw these sneakers preview alongside the Porsche collection that went live last month and was quite high-end, really popular. The sneakers are nice. I'm a sucker for green. This colorway is dope, but they are currently available on the ALD website for pre-order. £230, I think that's maybe like 250, 260 USD, and they're supposed to be shipping next year. So if you're patient, if you're willing to wait it out, and if you can afford to part with the cash right now, bro, they're there ready for you to reserve it. You guys might have seen this story doing the rounds this week. It's funny in a sense, although it's not really that funny. Obviously, the main interesting news story is Luigi Mangione being caught up in this whole CEO assassination scandal and the ramifications of the crime, etc. And given the magnitude of that case, sneakerheads decided to zoom in and really focus on one of the officers accompanying him on this perp walk, because the officer was dripped out in some Air Jordan 5 off-whites. And so the officer, obviously that morning, putting his fit together, thought, you know what, I'm gonna go out and rock some heat. Now at the same time, internet sleuths have actually been digging into Mangione's background, to the point where they've actually unearthed his Grailed account and discovered that the bro was something of a Rick Owens fan. Could Nike be on the comeback? Nike posted its second quarter earnings yesterday, and it did slightly better than they expected this quarter under their new CEO, Elliot Hill. They boasted a revenue of $12.35 billion, whereas last year they had $13.39 billion, and their projections for Q1 next year are going to be slightly ahead of where they had expected. So has Elliot Hill come in at the right time to steady the ship for Nike? It's definitely way too early to tell, in my opinion, at this point. I think we'll have a better understanding this time next year. This next story is pretty gross, man. This guy bought a pair of sneakers from eBay, these New Balance 993s, and was horrified to open them up and discover that they had been authenticated, but they had a used condom inside. So the complaint seems to be focused on the eBay authentication department, whose hands these shoes would have had to have passed through in order to ultimately make their way onto the buyer. And as someone that uses eBay a lot, and as someone that rates the authenticity guarantee program a lot, I can't help but feel like this oversight would not have taken place. I mean, personally, I think they would have seen these and then just sent them straight back to the seller and said, bro, we're not messing with that sort of stuff, that's gross. But if this did happen, and human error can certainly factor in here, that's fine. That's a shocker. Have you guys ever had anything like this happen to you in the past? I've actually had something similar where I bought a pair of used sneakers from Goats, and they came with a used needle inside. I was very lucky when I removed the paper that the needle kind of came out, but I could have pricked myself with that used needle. I'll try and post a video here where I actually did an online complaint myself. But yeah, what's the craziest thing you guys have found in a pair of used sneakers you've bought online? Feel free to let me know down below. So we know that Nike love to retro anything and everything from sneakers to staff members, but they're even now retroing and recycling marketing campaigns from the early 80s. So the National Football League have sent a letter to Jalen Hurts, essentially fining him for wearing mismatched cleats on the field during a game, which Jordan Brand have offered to pay for, sparking memories of the original banned Air Jordan 1s back in the day that MJ himself received a fine from the NBA for wearing. So of course this is just brilliant marketing from Jordan Brand, albeit just another retro. Speaking of mismatched cleats, we've got some official images of a pretty dope set of Christmas Grinch mismatched Kobe cleats, which look really dope, man. You've got a pair of the Grinch, and then you've got the reverse Grinches, which are coming out very soon. This past week we saw James Harden debut his new sneaker, the James Harden Volume 9. Saw this pretty cool little advertising campaign, saw him hopping out of his Ferrari in a metallic silver pair, which is set to come out in the new year. He's been seen balling out in this Year of the Snake purple pair. Now I've got to say, these look nice. I do think Adidas basketball is cooking right now, particularly with the AE1, as well as with these Harden joints, and also with the latest Damian Lillard sneakers, which I think are probably his best ones as well. And speaking of Damian Lillard, this week he decided to sign on as a lifetime Adidas signature athlete. So congratulations to Dame for that. I think it is well deserved. And speaking of signature athletes signing on, Aya Wilson has agreed to sign a 6-year extension with Nike. I saw this video this week and it just cracked me up because it just shows how art is these days. We've come a long way since the Da Vinci or the Picasso era to the point now where you can actually pull a stunt like this guy did and just take your shoe off and put it in an empty part of an art gallery, and you can garner up some attention. People have been flaming Travis Scott online because of the quality of the Utopia merch. Have a look at this briefcase from the website, and then have a look at the briefcase this dude actually got. This briefcase that was purchased actually looks like a briefcase that you find sat beside a dumpster with some old shredded paper in it that's had a Utopia logo simply spray painted on it. These hoodies on the website, they look pretty decent, they look pretty heavy. You've got this almost tie-dye print on it, but then these items, when they've been received in hand, look anything but good quality. Now, to a certain extent, you can sympathize because they're buying something from the website that they can see product images of that they think they're gonna get, and then when they get the stuff in hand, it's completely off. But on the flip side, this is merch. Merch is always like this. It's always of a lower quality spec, and it's been happening since I don't even know how long at this point. Right, now as a demonstration of just how the sneaker game has changed and how asics are on top right now, consider this story. This is an actual sneaker news story in 2024. Any other year previously, no one would give a damn. Someone came up on this pair of Australian Olympic asics shoes that were competed in or were worn as part of the uniform back in 2020. And this is a pretty dead asics model, to be fair. I think if you combine the fact that asics are trending alongside the fame that Ray Gun has gotten performing or competing in the Australian uniform this year, this has become a story worth talking about. But we're not gonna talk about it for long. That's it. Right, let's talk about some first looks, some new looks, updated looks, all these types of looks. We've had our first look at the blue colorway of the Supreme SB, which is coming out as part of this 5-pair pack next year. Bro, these are looking good, man. The more images I start to see of these suede nubuck pairs, the more I'm actually feeling this release in general. Staying with Nike and Supreme, we've also had our first looks at some of the clothing items. Let's take a look at these. We've got this jersey, which looks like pretty nice quality. There's also a track jacket, as well as some pants. I'm not sure if these items are going to be coming out alongside the SBs, or if they're going to be coming out alongside another footwear collab that is rumored to be featuring the Air Max 1. And according to this particular post here, there could be up to 4 colorways of the Air Max 1. So 5 Nike Supreme SBs, 4 Nike Air Max 1s for next year. I mean, that is heavy. We've had our first looks at the packaging for one of next year's most exciting Air Jordan 4 releases, the Rare Airs. There are some early images as well as some early reviews out there for this sneaker. And these are going to be coming with the FACEBOX. You guys might remember this particular box, kind of early to the late 2000s, circa 2005. The FACEBOX was featuring on pretty much all the retros. Definitely a cool box. This was always going to be an inevitability in terms of Jordan packaging. And listen, I'm really liking this particular Jordan 4 model. At our first look this week at another Little Yachty Concrete Boys Air Force 1 Low. This one is a crocodile inspired sneaker. This green colorway with a little bit of black. You can see the crocodile pattern inlaid. You've got the Concrete Boys logo on the back. Nice shoe. I like green. I'm feeling these. These are definitely a little bit more exciting than the white pair that came out. No release date info at this point, but these are rumored to be coming out sometime in 2025. I like them. What do you guys think? I've had some really good looks at one of next year's earliest releasing Nike SB collabs. This is the Riot skateboards pair. And according to these images, these look nice. Pretty simple color blocking, to be fair. It's this sort of red mixed with this black. A little bit of logo on the back tab. You've got this nice almost wax stamp vibe on the tongue. It's a good looking quality sneaker. We've had an official look at the Jordan 1 Low Rui Hachimura, which is set to drop sometime next year. Current rumors are placing this around the springtime, and this is a sequel to his 2022 PE. Nice looking sneaker. Features an intricate painted floral pattern on the upper. You've got a gum sole as well as a double layered swoosh. Got his logo on the insole. He's joined some other signature Jordan brand athlete Jordan 1 Lows, including Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson, and are going to come out as part of a pretty stacked up lineup for Jordan 1 Lows next year, given all of the heats we've already spoken about on this channel. So yeah, I'm liking these. Right, so even though a lot of people would like Maniere to stop making sneaker collabs, they're coming back out with a, nah, I'm only joking. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Are you guys sick of these guys yet? There's an all black Air Force 1 Low. I've got these really crisp product images to go off. These aren't mock-ups. This is supposedly the shoe. No specific release date info other than these are going to be dropping next year. What do you guys reckon? You guys feeling these, or would you be quite happy to see Maniere just take a little break for a while, just chill out, go on holiday? Had some updated good looks at the Nike JABBAR Swarovski pair. This is the $550 pair of Morant sneakers. These are going to be limited to 1,999 pairs, and they're going to be releasing Valentine's Day next year. Good looking shoe. The model looks fine. As you can see, it's predominantly black, a little bit like the JABBAR 1 Swarovski, and definitely one for the collectors or the online flexers rather than playing in, although I'm sure you'll probably see PJ lace up a pair of these in the new year for sure. What do you guys think of these? Soulfly are teaming up with Jordan Brand in the new year to bring us a Soulfly 3. Now, I was kind of hoping when I saw this news that we might actually get a retro of the Soulfly 3 that only ever came out as a sample, but there's no confirmation of that particular rumor at the moment. Could be a fresh model, which would also be pretty cool. Yeah, I would be quite keen to see a retro, seeing as Nike are going into the vaults, but I'd otherwise be excited to see what they can come up with. We've had some fresh looks at a very exciting sneaker set to retro for the first time next year, and for some people this is going to be like the release of the year, because this sneaker back when it came out in 2012 was like the hype sneaker. You know I'm talking about the Air Foamposite 1 Galaxies. Me personally, I'm not really into foams like that, but this is one colorway that I would definitely like to get in the collection, and it's a sneaker that I think is a good one to see retroing. The release date is for All-Star Weekend sometime in mid-February. Exact date TBC, but yeah, I'm liking the look of these, man. I'm definitely gonna be keen to get my hands on these. What are you guys thinking? But our first look at the Jordan 1 High 85 Royals. These are set to come out next year, obviously featuring the High 85 shape with the stiff leather it's looking like. And this just adds to a completely stacked Jordan 1 High lineup for next year. Think about it. We've got these, we've got the High 85 breads, we've got the reimagined black toes, we've got the UNCs that may or may not be coming out. They were supposed to be a reimagined. You've got the shattered backboards, you've got union collabs, you've got fragment union collabs. Like, bro, crazy how much Jordan 1 High heat is dropping next year. As a result, I can see these completely bricking, to be honest. Another Nike Air Diamond Turf is going to be returning next year as well. For some of you guys out there that are into the Deion Sanders sneakers, particularly the mid-90s joints, you guys are going to be excited to see these ones come back. I've had some first looks at the Aqua 8s coming out next year. In my opinion, the best Jordan 8s of all time. Don't at me. Now you can comment, go for it. It's good for engagement. The images aren't the greatest, but they're looking good. Colorway's looking nice, shape's looking good. Jalen Brunson has debuted the Year of the Mamba Kobe 5. These are set to come out next year. I remember the early images did these absolutely filthily, and there is a red pair I think coming out as well. No release date info, but it's a big year for Kobe's next year. These are definitely going to be popular. So is this the first look at the next Melo ball sneaker, the MB05? These things look crazy, man. Someone made a funny comment that I just have to share here. These look like the type of shoes that you wear in your dreams. Like, these are crazy funky, man. I'm not really on the Melo ball stuff, but I do give him props for teaming up with Puma and bringing out a pretty cool looking basketball shoe for sure. Also had a look this week at the new Jordan Zion model, the Jordan Zion 4. These look pretty futuristic. They look pretty out there. What do you guys think? Jerry Lorenzo and Adidas are continuing to go hard in 2025. They're going to be teaming up on the JABBAR High. And this is another classic 80s Adidas basketball model. And the design takes a little bit of inspiration from Stan Smith with the white and green color scheme. It's got some faux vintage detailing with the cream colored midsole and laces. And then it has this vectorized image of Jerry's face. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but the combination of premium materials and sleek design echoes the high-end approach in some other made in Italy Adidas releases, hinting that this collaboration will potentially carry a luxury price tag, which wouldn't be particularly surprising personally at this very early stage. I can see these being in the outlets. Had our first look this week at the unheard of Adidas Adistar Cushion 3 Piggy Runner. These are supposed to be dropping next year sometime in the spring. These guys have had some pretty dope collaborations with Adidas in the past. They've got this vibrant pink upper and then this translucent pink outsole. Can't say I'm overly familiar with this model, but at least according to these images, these look all right, yeah. All right, let's finish off by previewing this week's biggest sneaker releases. We're not done yet. The end of the year is nigh, but bro, there's still a few bangers set to come out. December the 23rd, the Wizard of Oz Nike SB Dunk Lows are coming out. Full family size run. You guys want to check out the local skate shops near you for raffle release info. December the 25th. You've got the Vapor Edge Kobe 6 mismatched cleats. December the 26th, you've got the debut of the Volume 9 Harden, the Year of the Snake purple pair. Those are looking pretty clean. December the 27th, Kids of Immigrants Nike airmax Sunders are dropping. For a lot of people, that's one of the sneakers of the year, and I can get that. I think those are cool. I'll be going for those. And then you've also got the Bleach Asics Gel NYC and the GT 2160 dropping on December the 27th. So a couple of cool sneakers still yet to come out, as well as maybe the Jound New Balance 993. So bro, good week to finish the year off. A couple of bangers there. Are you going for anything? Feel free to let me know. And that is it for this week's sneaker wrap, the second to last sneaker wrap for the entire year. Thank you guys so much for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Do me a favor and like it before you bounce, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.